Hey there, sweet loves. This is Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. Today I'm going to show you guys 4 new journals that I'm going to put in my Etsy shop on Sunday, July 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, Kansas City, Missouri, USA. So these are big. These are big journals. Like, I have been doing small journals and then I don't know what got into me, but these are huge. So I am just so excited. This is a fabric wraparound journal. This is birds, a little golden book. It is a quilt that was made by my grandma. Has a vintage sheet sash, has lots of fabric and baby clothes and needlework. It has 5 signatures. And it's similar to an inside out journal, except that this cover is not on the outside. This cover is not on the inside, the cover's on the outside, and it's not a pocket. It's just sewn to the cover. So when you open it up, it's a trifold. So let me see if I can spread it out here for you to see. So over here you have just a little tuck spot. Over here you have a little tuck spot. So in the signatures, I have basically like the same setup. So I'll walk you through what I have. And I stuffed the pockets. I already stuffed the pockets in this one. And I loaded it with bird and flowers and nature ephemera, so that you could use those things as your journaling. Okay, so wallpaper, the original book pages, a flower illustration book that I've sewed wallpaper on, some of my bestest of the bestest scrapbook paper. I've dug into my stash of my absolute favorite scrapbook paper. This is some basic gray. I don't even know if they still make scrapbook paper, but this was one of my absolute favorites and I'd been hanging on to it forever. I don't know why, and it just seemed to work with the colors in this book. So this is a fold down flap. So you can either tape this and make it a pocket, or you can use it as extra journaling space. Ledger paper, again, some of my favorite scrapbook paper. This is really thick cardstock type of scrapbook paper. Book page and wallpaper again. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something really quickly. The other day I was playing around after I did that trifold tutorial. I was playing around with some wallpaper because I wanted to see, you know, what type of materials. Again, I'm just always trying out different brands of wallpaper, different types of wallpaper, different ages of wallpaper to see what kind of inks and stuff it takes. So I'll zoom in a little bit on this and I'll kind of show you. It took paint pens very well. This, those white circles, those were China markers. So this was a white China marker. These were regular colored pencils. I don't know if you can see that. It's a purple and an orange. This was, again, colored pencil. This was, down here, these lines. This was that white Uniball Signo pen that a lot of people use. So it took that. This was a blob of paint that smeared, but it dried and it didn't come off. So just to kind of show you the wallpaper, and gel pens, sorry about that. Yeah, lots of my gel pens, all of my gel pens worked on here really well. So just to show you that the wallpaper does take different types of art supplies. The back side of the wallpaper is always like a matte finish, so you don't have to worry about that. It'll take everything. But this front side that has the vinyl, you may be wondering about, well, what kind of art materials can I use? I've used lots. The only thing I would be hesitant of was anything with a wet glue. So possibly a glue stick, I don't know. It depends on how dry it is. But your wet glue, because this is vinyl, it might pop up. I have no idea. But I use my tape runner. And so just to show you guys that, yes, you can actually use lots of different art supplies on the wallpaper. Okay, so wallpaper, book pages, scrapbook paper, ledger. Again, some of the flower paper, pockets, and then that's the first signature. So the second one, third, fourth, fifth, they're all basically the same. This time I did a flap that goes up. Some of Aunt Vincie's napkins and her linens have made their way into my journal again, and then lots of vintage sheets. I put some label stickers, just kind of sprinkled them throughout. I pulled some book pages from not only this original, the original pages from this Birds book, but I pulled some book pages from some other children's storybooks. So they may be Rand McNally's, they may be Golden Books. There's just different book pages. This is another fold out flap. And then the last signature. And then the back pocket. So in the back pocket, I've got, this is an old stationery, I think it's current, and it was the envelope. It's like you would journal on it, or you would write a little letter on it, and then you just go ahead and fold it up and put it in the mail. So there are, there is one of these in this back pocket with birds on it. And then throughout the journal, I've got a lot of these greenhouse cards that have different plants and different flowers and such. And so this is some embroidery work by one of my great-grandmas. I'm not for sure which one. And then here's the fold-in part. So when I close it up, because it's a tri-fold, I'd fold this in first, fold this, and then you can wrap it around. Okay, and lots of room. This is a squishy journal, so lots of room for you to grow in this one. So that's birds. This one you guys were super, super excited about on Instagram because it reminded so many people of their childhood. Rainbow Brite. I will say Rainbow Brite was a little after my time. I loved Rainbow Brite. I thought it was cute, but like I didn't have any of the toys or anything because I was a little bit older. Strawberry Shortcake was probably like my last doll phase that I had, but still love Rainbow Brite nonetheless. So this is a Rainbow Brite book. It is made the exact same way. It has 5 signatures. It's made from my grandma's quilt. I put some pom-poms on here, and then just all kinds of little patchwork. And I think I told you guys, you really see the gritty bits of all of my work on these fabric journals. And then a vintage sheet sash. So same thing. It's the a version of the Inside Out journal, except that the cover is on the outside. And then in this one, I did something totally different that I never, ever, ever, ever do. And I don't know if you can tell this or not because I have stuffed the pockets with this, but because this journal was so bright and there were so many great colors, like the hot pink and the blue and purples and stuff, what I was thinking was let the cover be the star of the show, and then the journal pages are all going to be variations of white. So all of these journal pages are variations of white. It's like white on white on white on white on white, and variations of it, and like creams, and I think there might be some gray and black in here. And my thinking of that was, I want, just like the cover is the star, I want your journaling to be the star and your artwork to be the star. So what better backdrop than a nice white backdrop to put your artwork and stuff. And then in the pockets for this one, for this journal, I went and stuffed the pockets with all kinds of bits of wrapping paper. So you have lots of different colors and designs and years of different wrapping papers, because I have a ton of wrapping papers and I love journaling with wrapping paper, and it'll really pop off of these white pages. So excited about this journal. By the way, I do have another Rainbow Bright book coming. It hasn't gotten here yet, and I do have plans to make another Rainbow Bright journal, but for now, this is all I have. So, okay, so pocket up here. Again, 5 signatures, so wallpaper, the original book pages, some of that flower illustration paper. I think this was 1989. I think the book was in 1989. Some of my favorite scrapbook paper, ledger paper, the book pages, flaps that fold up or down. Again, wallpaper in the center. And lots of white space. Now, I added some other book pages in here, so you'll get, I think there was a Mary Poppins book page, a Sesame Street book page, and there was one other. I can't remember what the other one is. I'll see it, and it'll remind me. And then stuffed the pockets. I am not a white on white person. You know, white freaks me out whenever I go to journal. Oh, Peter Pan, that was the other one. But to me, this journal just was begging for white pages. And I kind of had the idea because, I don't know, that pink is beautiful, but whoo, you could get tired of it really easily. So I wanted you to kind of be like really excited about the cover and then kind of calm and serene when you opened it up. And, you know, didn't feel like your artwork was going to have to be, you know, overshadowed or overpowered by the pages that were in here. I wanted the pages to just kind of take second stage to your artwork, your journaling, your scrapbooking, whatever it is that you're going to do in here. And again, I just put little labels throughout. Same setup. I've got some old quilts in here, Aunt Vincie's linens, some vintage sheets. There's the black and white. Wish there was a strawberry shortcake little golden book. To my knowledge, there is not one, and I'm a kind of a golden book collector, and I've never seen one. I've never seen where, you know, there has been record of one, but oh man, if there was, that would be so cool. So, like I said, I just tucked in the pockets lots of colorful paper, and I think I told you wrapping paper. It's a collection of wrapping paper and wallpaper scraps, and then I put some of those greenhouse cards throughout the book also. So these always make great little journaling cards. Like you could draw on it, you could glue some paper on it, tape on it, you could put your photos on it. So I put those throughout. And so when it folds up, this goes in. Here's that side right there. There was a hole in the back of this book, so I just patched it with some flocked ribbon, and then this one goes over and wraps around. And again, lots of room because this is a squishy journal, so you got lots of room to add all kinds of good stuff. So that's Rainbow Bright. This journal I actually started, oh my gosh, a long time ago, and just could not, I loved the cover, but I could not wrap my brain around how the rest of it was going to work. And I made this journal from a placemat. Let me show you. This was a set of placemats that I found at a thrift store, and I just loved it. They looked like they were homemade, but I loved them because it just was so 1970s. So my thinking was I was going to make journals out of them. And this one was kind of an experiment. And I love it. I really, really love it. So this is a big one. This is, oh my gosh, it is every bit of 12 inches, even with the ruffle, even a little bit more. And then it's going to go about 9 inches this way. So on the front, I just put some old patches and just kind of did some random stitching of some fabric. So this is a totally soft journal. It's a soft spine, soft cover. It has 4 signatures. This is a panel of polyester. And then on the back, more patches, some ribbons that I have. I have a scad of these ribbons from when my kiddos were in swim team, and they would just, you know, hand out ribbons for everything. So I have a lot of these ribbons, and I've just been like, what could I do with them? And so I felt like the ribbons and the patches and this 1970s feel kind of go together. So these are some old patches. A lot of these are bowling patches, and then some of them are like from when my daughter was in Brownies for the 1 year she was in Brownies. So there's an eclectic mix of patches. And then I just tucked in some little playing cards. This is a little pocket here. And then this is just a remnant of fabric that I stitched on, and it became the sash. Now, my struggle was I didn't want this journal to be that big. So what I did was, the cover is 12 inches, but on the inside, the actual journal is only about 8.5. And I added some interesting things to this journal because I didn't want you to feel like you were being sold short, you know, well, I bought a journal that was 12 inches, but I only got 8 inches. So I kind of have a little fix for that. Okay, so on the inside, messy stitches, pocket, buttons. This is the back. Love that fabric with this orange. Some buttons again. Okay, so this is crazy. I'm just so excited about this journal. There is so many crazy, weird things in this journal, and so many random things that I just like put together, like bowling, and then nursery rhymes, and brownies, and books, children's book pages, and then like some, I don't know, stitching and things like that. It's just crazy. Okay, so front, this is a pocket, and you remember I was telling you about the current stationery, the envelopes where you would write on it and then just fold it up and mail it. So there's one for each of the 4 signatures. There's one of those, and it just tucks in this pocket right here. So the pocket is vellum on the front, and then it's wallpaper, and then it folds out. This is a cover from a Coates and Clark book, so it had to be some sort of needlework or stitching or sewing. Some scrapbook paper. Now on the scrapbook paper, this is where you're going to get your 12 inches. What I did is on the scrapbook paper, each one of them has a flap. It'll either fold up or it'll fold down. So that gives you extra journaling space. If it's one that's on the bottom, you could tape it up and make it into a pocket. I put little peepholes in some of them, so that just gives you more room to do some of your creative work. It gives you a little bit more real estate. So some crochet book papers, stationery, scrapbook paper with some more patches sewn in. So this would be one that's folding down, and you could make it a pocket, or you could go ahead and fold it down. So this was a book that I found the other day, and I just thought it was so cute. It's this little needlepoint book, and look at the inscription. Hope this needles you to the point of creativity. And then here's who it was from, and then there's someone's little address label. So I took the pages out of it, and I used the pages in this journal because I am going to use the covers for this. Wouldn't this be a cool little, like my little fabric storybook journals? Wouldn't this be a cool one like that size? And it would be one of those wraparound journals. So, and it would kind of be like a fabric homebodies journal. Ooh, that would be very cool. So anyway, this is going to be something that I work on a little bit later. Okay, so the pages in here are all 1970s. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now for this fold out, I have 2 inches on the top and 2 inches on the bottom. So again, you can make it a pocket, you could tape them down, you could just go ahead and use them as extra real estate. This is my favorite part. In the center of every signature is a catalog cardstock image of a 1970s bedroom or kitchen or living room. And I think it came from, I want to say it came from a wallpaper book or a fabric book. I can't remember which one it came from. But anyway, it's nice and thick and it just has this awesome 1970s image. So that's in the center. So each one has a different one. So here's your scrapbook paper again. A fold out, a fold up, the back of the wallpaper with a little peephole, the second signature, same thing. Another one of those ribbons. Some old 1970s stationery. And then as I was doing this, I was like, okay, in the 70s, you played games. You had fondue, you played games, canasta, bridge, Yahtzee. So I pulled out all of my game cards and I just, anytime there was a pocket, I just stuffed in all kinds of these cool little game cards. So here's a canasta, a Yahtzee, a bridge, I think more bridge, some tally cards, and this one I actually went ahead and sewed, so this one actually became a pocket. So here's the back of the signature, and then this is the tag that pulls out that little current stationery tag. Wallpaper, stationery. This was a book jacket from one of those little Hallmark gift books, and I thought it was perfect. The colors were perfect for the 70s, so I just left it. I stitched down the center and added some reinforcement and then just kind of left it so you can fold it out and add whatever you want to it. Look at that. Woo! If that doesn't make you dizzy, I don't know what does. And then here's the back of that little book jacket. I had so much fun making this journal. I want to make another one. I don't know if I'm going to keep the size of the placemat the same or if I'll do some deconstructing to it. I actually did do some deconstructing to this placemat. Here's another pocket again with lots of game cards and a tally card. I did pull it apart and I added some reinforcement here in the center, in the spine. So I don't know. On the other placemats, I may keep it the same. I don't know. We'll see. What I've found is that I love to just make things up as I go. I love to figure it out as I'm putting a journal together. Okay, so this is cool. This is a little fold down. I put a 1976 bowling patch in here and then just added some playing cards with some little fabric at the top. So it's like a little pocket. And then here's another one of those stationery pieces. And then, oops, a little scrap of paper. And then here's the back card with, it's just a bridge score pad with some sheets that I sewed together. So yeah, so this is the bowling patch journal, I guess is what I'll call it. And here's what it looks like. And it has lots of room to expand because the spine really doesn't have a shape to it. And it can expand however you need for it to expand. And so I put a lot of room in between your signatures. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I put a lot of room in between those signatures so that you have lots of room to grow. There's nothing worse than buying a journal and it's already full and and bulky, and you can't add your own stuff to it. So, all right, so that's the bowling patch journal. Dun, da, da. So my grandparents growing up had a set of these photo albums, probably 20 of them, and all from the 70s. And I as a kid, that's what we would do when we'd go over to our grandma's house. We'd always go through pictures. I mean, always, especially when it was like a holiday or something, and all of our cousins and stuff were there. So my mom still has those photo albums, and I don't want to, she's not ready to get rid of them yet. I've been helping her, you know, get the photos scanned and stuff. But when she's ready to get rid of the photo albums, she'll give them to me. But I happened to find this in a thrift store, and I bought it because I wanted to make this into a journal for myself. So I made it. I made the cover. I did all this stuff ready to go. I did stuff on the inside and decided I don't want this as my journal. So I decided it was just not, I don't know, there was something about it, and I was like, it's too cute, and I wasn't feeling using it. I would rather sell it and let somebody else appreciate it. And what I actually did was, instead of using this for my This Is Me journal, I made my baby clothes journal. So this one kind of got pushed over to the side, and I just decided that I was going to sell it. So this one has soft spine, hardcover. It has 3 signatures. It has eyelet on the back, which there is nothing better than the feel of eyelet. It's got hand stitching around it. And then, like I said, this is a fabric photo album from the 70s. So on the inside, vintage sheets, eyelet again, some sheet tags, some strawberry shortcake. I stitched some stickers in here. This is a pocket. Back over here, same thing, vintage sheets. This is a quilt circle. This is a sticker that says, I'm a neat kid. And then just an iron-on fabric with a big groovy colored S, and then just some messy stitches. So for this one, this is going to be a fun journal to fill up because there's so much room in this journal. So for this one, I tried to pull in lots of groovy colors. So 70s wallpaper, and this will be a pocket. Now I have not filled the pockets in this one, so I will do that later, and then whoever gets this one, it'll just be a surprise what you're going to get in the pockets. But yeah, it'll be groovy. It'll be groovy and good. Some quilt pattern paper, scrapbook paper with envelopes, some embroidery needlework book pages, some yellow tablet paper, and look at it. See how it's already started to brown? I mean, when I think of yellow, or when I think of 70s, I think of yellow tablet paper, especially at my grandma's house. I feel like they had 10 of these just laying around everywhere because you just would write everything on those little yellow notepads. Scrapbook paper. This is a little flannel pocket right here. This is a page from, if you remember, the Sunset cookbook that was 1960s, I think, and it had those really cool illustrations. Wallpaper, craft book pages, pocket, flocked ribbon, lots of 70s and 60s fabric. And this journal just lays really, really well because it's so wide. The pages will just automatically, they want to lay down. So this is just a great journal to grow in because you're going to have lots of room. And it shouldn't bulk up too quickly because the pages are so, they're so wide. I loved using all of these crazy colors. I mean, that's just red, gold, orange, green, and brown. I would never put those together, but yet it works. And then pink, it just works so well. This is just a big old pocket right there. Aunt Vincie's napkins again. This is a quilt it's a quilt square, but it actually wasn't a square. It was like an oval, and just love those colors, and it just becomes a little tuck spot. Another flannel pocket. And then the last page right here. So then back here, there's a pocket, and I just stuck a little flashcard in there. All right, guys. So there are 4 journals. 2 groovy 70s ones. Rainbow Bright and Birds. They will be in my shop on Sunday, July 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, Kansas City, Missouri, USA. And just a quick little note. I just wanted to tell you guys, first of all, thank you so much for every single one of you that supports and loves and gives me great feedback from my channel. And thank you. I can't ever tell you how grateful I am for your love and your support. I also wanted to say that I cannot do custom orders, and I know a lot of you guys have asked me. There are just not enough hours in the day, especially since this is not even my day job. I'm on summer break right now, and you know, then I go back in the fall to teaching, and I just can't do custom orders. I also cannot do reservations, and I know some of you guys have contacted me, and you're so sweet about it, and I wish I could, but my goal is to be fair to everybody. I don't ever want anybody to feel slighted, because I've felt like that before, and it is not a fun feeling. And so I don't have any other solution other than putting them in at Etsy on a certain time. And you know, I know it's crazy, and I know it's stressful, and I know it's frustrating when you try to get on and they sell within a minute, and I apologize, and I do not mean to cause anybody angst or frustration. I just don't know a better way to do it. So thank you very much. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being understanding. I'm going to keep on making. So my goal is that hopefully everybody that wants a journal will eventually all get a journal. That's my goal, and I'm going to keep on making them, and I have no plans to stop anytime soon. So if you will be patient with me, I promise I will try to hit my goal and get everybody a journal. So anyway, there you go. That being said, I'm going to let you go now, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're happy. Etsy shop on Sunday at 9 a.m. Do something creative today. Bye.